Long ago, there lived a prince named Gualtieri, the Marquis of Saluzzo, who cared little for marriage or family and devoted most of his time to hunting, feasting, and enjoying the pleasures of noble life. As the years passed, the people of his kingdom grew increasingly concerned that their ruler would grow old without an heir, leaving the future of the kingdom uncertain, and they repeatedly urged him to marry. Tired of their constant demands, Gualtieri finally agreed. But instead of choosing a noblewoman from a wealthy family, he deliberately selected Griselda, a beautiful yet poor young woman from a nearby village, believing that her humble background would silence his critics, while her beauty would make the marriage pleasant enough for him. Before their wedding, he asked her a single question that would shape the rest of their lives, saying, "Will you promise to obey me always, never question my decisions, and never complain about anything I ask of you?" Griselda accepted his conditions without hesitation, and the two were married, quickly earning the admiration of the people, who were impressed by her kindness, humility, and grace, despite her simple upbringing. Although Griselda proved herself to be a devoted wife, Gualtieri remained uncertain of her character and became determined to test the limits of her patience and loyalty. After the birth of their first child, a beautiful daughter, he falsely claimed that the people of the kingdom refused to accept a child born to a woman of humble origins, and that the baby would have to be put to death. Heartbroken but faithful to the promise she had made, Griselda surrendered her child without protest, believing that her husband must have reasons beyond her understanding. In reality, Gualtieri secretly sent the child away to be raised safely in another household, where she would remain hidden. A few years later, Griselda gave birth to a son, and once again Gualtieri repeated the same cruel deception, insisting that the boy too must be taken away. Though her heart was filled with unimaginable sorrow, Griselda accepted his command just as she had before, never allowing anger or resentment to overcome her loyalty. Yet even after these painful trials, Gualtieri was still not satisfied, and devised one final and even harsher test. Before the entire court, he publicly declared that the Pope had granted him permission to end his marriage and choose a wife more worthy of his royal position. Griselda accepted the decision with quiet dignity, returned to the humble home of her father wearing the simple clothes she had once owned, and never spoke a bitter word against the man she had loved. As preparations began for what appeared to be a new royal wedding, Gualtieri summoned Griselda back to the palace, explaining that no one knew better than she how to organize such an important celebration. Setting aside her own sorrow, she returned without complaint and worked tirelessly, cleaning the palace, preparing the halls, and ensuring that every guest would be welcomed with warmth and hospitality. On the day of the ceremony, Gualtieri presented a beautiful young woman dressed as the bride, never revealing that she was actually the daughter who had been taken from Griselda many years before. Wanting to see whether bitterness had finally entered her heart, he asked, "What do you think of my new bride?" Griselda looked kindly at the young woman and replied, "She is truly beautiful, and if her wisdom matches her beauty, then the two of you will live a happy life together. I only hope you will never test her patience as you have tested mine, because she is young and may not be able to endure such hardships." Those words finally revealed the depth of her character, overcome with emotion and recognizing the extraordinary patience, loyalty, and goodness that Griselda had shown through every trial. Gualtieri confessed that the entire ordeal had been a series of tests and revealed that neither of their children had ever been harmed. He joyfully reunited Griselda with both her daughter and her son and asked her to resume her rightful place as his wife, where she was honored and respected for the rest of her life. The moral of the story is that patience, loyalty, and strength of character can endure even the greatest hardships. But true love should be built on trust and respect, rather than endless tests of devotion.